So welcome to today's video. We're going to be looking at multiplying whole numbers by numbers that have one decimal place. So in the most complex form, by the end of this, hopefully you'll be able to do a two-digit number, something like 12 times 4.7. Whereas in the simplest form, hopefully you'll be looking at confidently being able to do something like 6 times 2.5, which we can go ahead and start with. There are three techniques that I advise we can use. In this video, you'll see the times by 10 method. And if we're using more decimals to more decimal places, that'll be times by 100 or 1,000 and so on. Then there's the DP method, which is extremely similar. So if you've seen this video first, that video will be very short, followed by classic, one of my favorites, partitioning. And this is a great skill that you can use in many areas, especially multiplication, even in division, addition, and even subtraction. So I really recommend you getting used to partitioning method. Helps you understand the numbers and identify what's going on. But for today's video, we're going to focus on the times by 10, 100, or 1,000 method. But we're only looking at one decimal place, so we'll stick with timesing by 10. So let's keep it really simple and look at 3 times 2.5. This is the timesing by 10 method. So as suggested, what we're going to do is go ahead and times by 10. So we will change this question to 3 times 25, which is going to give us an answer that's actually 10 times bigger than what we want. This, of course, is 75. And if we want to check it through column method, you can do 3 times 5, which is 15. Carry the 1. 3 times 2 is 6. Add this one. There we go. 75. So now we have this method. It's important to understand that it is 10 times too big. So what can we do? Well, we're going to need to divide this by 10. Again, if you've seen the decimal on moving the if you've seen the video on moving the decimals, you'll understand the decimal moved from here across down to here. So that would leave us with an answer of 7.5. As you can see, we've made this 10 times bigger. We've had to then make our answer 10 times smaller. So now let's have a look at a two-digit number like 14 times a single-digit number that ends in, with a decimal that ends in 5. So 14 times 5.5. Well, what we're going to need to do is we're going to need to times this here by 10. And this will give us 14 times 55. And we can say 5 times 4 is 20. Carry the 2. And 5 times 10 is going to be 5. 5 and 2 is going to leave me with 70 here. Moving on to this column, 50, we're going to put a 0 in here. And 5 times 4 again is 20. Put a 0 there. Same thing again. 5 times 1 is going to be 5. So 5 and 2 leaves me with a 7. If I add these up, get 7. 70 is my answer. So here, the only thing I need to do is, remember I times by 10 here. Well, I need to go ahead and divide by 10 here, which means the decimal place can move from this side to here. We're going to go left one space. So my answer is going to be 77. Okay, so now we have 3 examples, and I'm going to let you have a go. I advise you pause it now, and I will reveal the answers in 3, 2, 1. Hopefully we're ready for some answers. Got 15, 31.5, and 102. Okay, so now let's look at something that doesn't end in 0.5. 6 times 4.2 and 9 times 2.7. And what you're going to find is the procedure is exactly the same. Sometimes it's a little bit scarier because we're not ending in 0.5 and people like 0.5, it's half, and they recognize it. But the procedure is going to be exactly the same. So here we're doing 6 times 2, which is 12. Leave the 1 up there. 6 times 4, which is going to be 24. 4 and that 1 is going to make a 5 and a 2 here. We've got 252. 252 for 42 times 6. And just as we were before, we're going to have to divide by 10. So that means when I write my answer, it's going to be 25.2. So here we can do 9 times 27, which is 9 times 7 is 63. With that 6 up here. 9 times 2 is going to give us 18. Okay, so 18 add 6 is going to be 24. So I'll leave my 2 up here, put a 4 here, and here we go. Our answer is 243. Again, we need to do the same thing. We need to make sure we're dividing by 10. So once we divide by 10, we're going to put a decimal point in here. Answer is going to be 24.3. If you look at these answers, they are roughly about right. So 6 times 4 is 24. So the answer for 6 times 4.2 is going to be just a bit above that. And 25.2 is 9 times 2 is 18, and 9 times 3 is 27. So this answer here is between 18 and 27. So it makes sense. So here we have 6 examples for you to do. On this side, these are all single digits. And here we have some double digit numbers for you to go ahead and have a go at. I advise you pause, and we'll be back with some answers in 3, 2, 1. Okay, so hopefully you've had some success. Let's have a look at the answers. We've got 28.8, 39, 27.6, 75.9, 124.5 and 46.8. I know this one was particularly tricky with 18 times 2.6, but well done if you got it right. If not, have another go. Thank you very much. So the video felt a little bit incomplete without me covering off how to do 2 decimal places and 3 decimal places. So I thought I'd tack a little bit on the end. Here, what we can do is, you guessed it, we're going to times by 100. We've got 2 decimal places. Here we've got 3 decimal places. We need to times by 1,000. 3 zeros, 3 decimal places. 2 zeros, 2 decimal places. So if we do that, we get 8 times 425. Now I go ahead and do a partitioning method, and I'll look at this and say that's 3,200. 8 times 25 is going to be 200. So that gives me a figure of 3400. Times by 100. So what do I need to do? I need to divide by 100. Which means that my answer up here is going to be 34. We'll just get rid of these 2 zeros. Here we've got 6 times 3.175. So it's going to become 6 times 3,175. And this isn't as straightforward, but 6 times 75 is going to give me, let's go ahead and do it with my black pen, is going to give me 450. 6 times 100 is going to give me 600. 6 times 3,000, that's going to give me 18,000. Okay, so we add all this up. Carry 1 over here. Okay, we've got 19,050. We're going to need to divide this by 1,000. So we're going to need to move the decimal place from here. 1, 2, 3 spaces to the left, which is going to give me 19.05. 3 times 6 is 18. This is a bit bigger than 3. This is a bit bigger than 18. So it looks about right.